The Disneyland Paris races are coming up soon, and if you're planning on going, there might be some things that you need to know. So today I want to talk to you about the races, the photos, the Expo, the Corrals, and everything else that you might need to know before you go. Even if you've been to the race before, I've talked to Run Disney about some things that you might want to hear. If you've never run a Disney race before, you are in for a treat. I think the Disney races are the most fun races to run, and I've run a lot of different events, as you can see on my channel. If you've run in the States before and this is your first time running in Disneyland Paris, there are a couple of things that might be a little different than you're used to, but I'm here to fill you in on everything. Let's start with the medical certificate. If you're running the half marathon, you need to hand in a medical certificate signed by a physician. You had to send this in before August 31st, so if you haven't done that yet, you might want to get on top of this and sort that out, because they're not going to let you run without it. I contacted Run Disney and they agree with me that their communication to the runners has been kind of bad in the past, and they told me that they're trying to work on this. Now, up till now, it kind of seems to be going the same way this year. There's not a lot of news or updates for the runners. The website hasn't changed the entire year. I didn't get an email again for the registration. I just knew that it was time for registration and I went to the website, but I didn't receive an email. And I'm sure a lot of other people probably didn't either. If for some reason you're not registered for the races yet, everybody should be registered. So if you're not, contact whoever you booked your trip with and get that sorted out. Now, approximately 2 weeks before the races, which is now, we should receive more information and vouchers to print out. You need to print out these vouchers to collect your bibs at the Expo. You want to print these out beforehand. Do that at home, or if you're traveling already, try and get it done at the hotel. You can always print them out at the Expo as well, but chances are there's going to be a very long line for this, so you're better off doing this before you get to the Expo. The Expo starts on Thursday and it opens at 3 p.m. Now, this normally gets pretty busy and there can form a very long line to get in at the start. But if you're not interested in getting your stuff early or buying merchandise, then you're probably better off going on Friday. On Friday, it's a lot easier to just get in, get your stuff, and get out. The Expo is also not as big as it is in the States. If you're used to the Expo there's not as many vendors there. There's normally just a couple of vendors, a couple of sponsors there. Nothing like you're used to in Orlando or at other big marathon expos for that matter. Also, merchandise, if you're hoping to buy a lot of race merchandise, there's normally not as much as you might be used to in Orlando. Now, the courses for the races, they always try and keep a secret until a couple of days before the races, so we're not going to find out until later. But in the past couple of years, the courses haven't changed all that much, so I'm not expecting a lot of changes there. I'll be talking a little bit more about that in an upcoming video when they've announced the courses. Now that I'm editing the video, I wanted to give you a little update because I recorded it on Monday. It's Wednesday now, and it just came out with the event guide. You can download the event guide or look at it on the Run Disneyland Paris website. It has a lot of information about the races, the race times, the rules. So make sure that you read through that, and it also has the courses in there already. We're going to have a look at those courses in an upcoming video, so we'll get back to that later. The Corrals. They were a big drama last year. The assignment of the Corrals was very random, especially for Corral A, and that caused the race to start very slow. It formed long lines for the character stops, and especially for the 5K, it made for a very dangerous situation with a lot of little children that were running. Now, I contacted Run Disney about this, and their response was a little bit confusing. First off, they told me that Corral A is for elite runners and runners that have a proof of time of under an hour and 30 minutes. Now, because there's not enough runners to fill up a corral, they fill it up randomly. They continued by saying that proof of time or the expected finish time that you entered at registration will be taken into account. So yeah, what is it? Is it randomly or is it by the expected finish time? Because for the 5K and the 10K, you're not required to enter expected finish time. So I'm kind of scared it's going to end up being the same as last year, which I really hope it's not, because it was just dangerous, unpleasant, and very unnecessary to have those very long lines at the character stops. All they had to do is make good corral assignments. I just wanted to cut in again for just a second, because in the event guide there's actually a little map of the corral area. Now, to me, when I look at this, it seems like there's something a little bit wrong with this. Thinking back of what RunDisney said about not having enough fast runners to fill up a corral, to me it would seem that you would make that the smallest corral then. But Corral A is the biggest one. Now, B is a little bit smaller, C is smaller than that, and D is the smallest one. It would seem to me that has to be the exact opposite. If you have the fast runners in front, they're gonna start running. By the time Corral B follows them, they're never gonna run into the people from Corral A because they're gonna be long gone. So you're not gonna have those people in the same lines. The lines for the character stops are gonna be shorter. It just makes sense. This way, I just see a lot of people being mixed up with different speeds. It'll slow the race down. It'll make the lines longer. I don't understand why RunDisney chooses to do it this way. I really hope they're going to prove me wrong, but for now I am expecting longer and slower lines. Characters on the course. If you've seen any of my other RunDisney race videos, you will know that I love to stop for the character photos, and there are plenty on the course of all three races. Now, of course, there can always be more characters as far as I'm concerned, but there are quite a bit of characters during all the races. Now, there are not normally any characters at the start or finish like you might be used to in the States, so you'll have to get your photos in during the race. I've seen a lot of people asking about PhotoPass on social media to see if it's worth it or not. I really think that it is. There are a lot of photographers on the course, there are character stops that I like to stop for, and it also works in the parks. Now, there are not as many photo ops in the parks as there are in Orlando, but still, if you only get 2 or 3 photos from your race or from the parks, then you're already paying almost as much as you would for all the photos on your PhotoPass. So yeah, I definitely think that it's worth it. Last year was the first time during the races that they had to scan your bib before taking a character photo. Now, this really slowed the whole process down and made for a lot longer lines during the character stops. I talked to RunDisney about this, and they seem to be under the impression that it's a faster way of doing things. That makes absolutely no sense to me. It's actually a different department that handles this, so they're not really sure, but they think that is going to be the process again this year. So kind of be prepared for slower character stop lines. Last year, after the races, I did a recap video and tried to encourage people to write RunDisney and tell them about things that you think they need to improve on or things that you think may have gone wrong. Because if they don't hear about things going wrong, they may think that it went right. And I think this is one of those things. I think they think it's a great process, but they don't experience it as a runner. And the cast members or volunteers that are working there, they are very friendly, they're doing a great job, but the friendliness, the politeness, the not having that sense of urgency, not seeing that there are runners there that are in a hurry and that want to keep on running, is slowing the process down, and it's making it so slow that there's a very long line that is so unnecessary. So we're gonna have to see how that goes this year, but I think we're gonna have to count on them scanning again. I hope they're gonna maybe change that or instruct the scanners differently. But yeah, we're gonna have to see how that goes. Around the time that the vouchers come in, you will also receive a runner's eye bag. Now, this is something that you can open up online, and you want to check this out because it has a lot of different coupons in it for different things that you can get discounts on, and especially a lot of different restaurants. So print these out and bring them with you. Of course, you can always count on friendly runners that print out extra coupons, but you might want to come prepared and bring your own. If you're staying at a Disney resort and you don't know how far you are from the start, you are within walking distance. Doesn't matter what resort you're staying at, you're within walking distance. Everything is really close together, and it's really close to the start line. Cheyenne and Santa Fe, they're the furthest away, and it's like a 10-minute walk from there. So if you're wondering if there's going to be a meetup, there is. On Saturday at 4 p.m. there'll be a meetup together with the Dutch Run Disney fans Facebook group. Laura and Jackie from Joyful Miles are going to be there. Jen from Go Find Your Awesome is going to be there. Kimberly Estabrook will be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be at the Events Arena at 4 p.m. So come by and say hi. Of course, if you just see me around the parks or during the race, come over and say hi. I'd love to meet all of you. Now, with the poor communication and lack of changes on the website, Run Disney advises to keep checking their Facebook page for any news that they might have. So make sure in the next 2 weeks to keep checking that, or come back to my channel and I'll keep you posted in upcoming videos. Now, until next time, get out there and run.